Guys, zero gravity is so weird. So I'm just like chilling. I'm chilling in my really comfortable bed upon finding out that on the almost 11-hour flight to San Francisco, there will be no actual entertainment apart from like 80s style overhead in the distance somewhere in the corner TV that apparently loops the same two movies over and over and over and over again. What the fuck? I can't deal with that. I can't deal with that. And also, probably gonna sleep very poorly. So I was looking at my bed, like, oh, look at that comfortable, horizontal, large area that you can just rest in. Don't take it for granted. Oh my god, this is rotating. I don't even know what's happening. So hey guys, I will probably take some videos in San Francisco, but for the time that I'm actually in San Francisco, you will probably only see an older video and then see the one after that. I don't know, it depends on what Wi-Fi there is there. I was thinking, is there any angle that is flattering whilst laying horizontal? Nope. I was thinking so much. Oh my god, you know, I wanted to like do a short clip like in the bed and then actually get up. I'm dying. And you know, like sit down and do the video properly. But now I'm just like, it's so comfortable. I don't want to get up. I'm just gonna lay here because why the not? I'm gonna make a video about the theory of the brain, right? Because there was an article recently saying that, oh, the brain is not a computer. And then people were like, oh no, of course it's a computer. The brain absolutely is a computer, like a computer. You know, and I was just like, okay, let's do about brain being a computer or not being a computer, and how this is so weird to hold. I don't know how to hold this angle properly. I'm gonna regret making this video in this position. It's ridiculous. I bet you can't even pay attention to this ridiculousness. Like, what? I put on the back camera now. I don't know if this is any better. Dexter's laboratory lives the smart. Oh god, my head. Okay, I don't know if the lighting is good or what, but I'm just gonna go for it. I just took a nap. I'm a fan of 20-minute naps whenever I've been reading something for like 5 hours straight. I've been reading the reviews for how bad United Airlines is, and I've been looking at diagrams of how the seating is arranged and which seats are the bad seats and which seats are the good seats. Hint, there are no good seats. They're all bad seats. Like, and then I just suddenly realized, you know what? I can't take it anymore. So I just went to sleep. My life. What I want to talk about is whether the brain is a computer, and something that I noticed, which is really interesting, is how so the music in the background is quite annoying. 1 second. Just a little bit less loud. So if you think about it, the thing that's almost fascinates me about this concept of how the brain works and the memory as well is this idea of long-term memory, or this idea of the memory being an actual localized, specific, local, physical storage where the memory is. There were two threads. The first one is whether it's whether memories are like physically contained, like things in cupboards. And another idea was whether our interpretation of the world, like the shape of a strawberry, actually is encoded as such in the way that the neural circuits work. Let's start with whether things are stored in physical spaces. It certainly doesn't feel like that for me. And I think the fact that the brain can reorganize itself and can learn things independent of its physical properties, like different languages or anything imaginable, I think supports the idea that nothing is memorized as such, right? So memories are not like strawberries and peaches in cupboards and you store them forever, and then you go to the cupboard and you open it and you're like, oh, there it is, my peach and strawberries, moldy, or whatever happens to peach and strawberries in stores for over a long period of time. But more like constantly available but not physically present memory, where you can tap into information when you want to, and it's not always stored. For example, I think a good analogy is how images are processed in a computer, where you don't store every single image possible in the computer, and then you want the strawberry, and then it gives you the strawberry from where it has the strawberry. It doesn't store any images as such. And when you have a specific image that you want to look at, it then reads it with the same basic rules and definitions that, say, Microsoft Paint has, or to open your image. It doesn't matter what image it is. I feel like the brain does the same thing, where you don't store memories of every single object you've ever seen you could possibly ever see, and then when it happens or when you think of it, this image is pulled out. I feel like certain stimuli which are associated with that, like someone saying strawberry, summon that particular image without it already existing as such in the brain. And for example, you know, when you remember something that was really deeply buried and some weird event happened, some bizarre thing happened that triggered you to think, oh my god, that thing happened like 7.5 years ago at Christmas. I was like, oh my god. And you think you would have never, ever, ever remembered that ever if it weren't for the weird event that somehow reminded you of this weird thing that happened. I feel as though that memory has not been stored as such over the years, and you would have just never come across it. I feel like that memory being remembered relies on your brain operating in a specific way that was triggered by that random event. And so that memory is almost only memorized in the conditional presence of that random event. And if that random event hadn't happened, then that memory just wouldn't exist anyway. And it only exists because that thing has happened. And that thing has triggered events in the brain that almost recreated that memory rather than looked at a memory that was somehow already there. I don't think it was somehow already there. And I think that repeating certain tasks over and over and over again creates the impression that certain things are more easy to think of or more easy to remember or imagine. But I think the fact that we remember things very differently, and sometimes bizarrely differently, like this happened recently, and this is probably why I'm thinking of this. I saw someone sort of far away on the street that looked like someone familiar, but I wasn't 100% sure. I thought they kind of look like that person, but they could also not be that person. And they actually walked quite close to me for a while, and then we got inside a building, and someone else noticed them, and they were like, hey, name, how are you? And I thought, oh my god, the name matches. I was like, of course, it's that person because that's the name. Now, the weird thing about the story is that the name did not match with the person that I thought that person was. It matched with someone else who I also knew, who I associated with that person because they maybe look a little bit similar, but the name is nowhere near the same name. So even though I heard this person's name, that should tell me, oh my god, it's that person, not the other, I still thought it was the same person, even though they have a completely different name, just because they sort of looked the same. And only later on did I think, that person's name. I was like, oh my god, that person's name! Oh my god, it's not that person, it's the other person, what the hell? You know, it took me a while. And so, I don't feel like these things were stored in perfect shape anywhere in the brain in any way. I feel like they're just products of a certain process happening, such as seeing this face or whatever, that just happen multiple times and clearly don't happen perfectly or the same every time at all. Yeah, that's fascinating. And so the other thing was whether the things that are encoded have anything to do with the actual experiences that we have in the product that we work with. And I feel in that sense it's absolutely like a computer, where if you looked at the code for Microsoft Paint to manage pictures or whatever, nowhere in that code is there a mention of a strawberry or a peach. So you might think, well, you know, we're looking at these strawberries and peaches. How does this code relate to the shape of the peach? How does this code relate to the shape of the strawberry? How, you know what I mean? It might look like it's nothing, like literally nothing to do with the actual content that we interact with at a superficial level. Yet, it works. And you only need fairly simple things to generate an infinity of objects. And I feel like the internet is also a good example of that. How a computer does not need to store anything of the internet. And yet, as long as it can access anything from the internet, it looks as if it can do a lot of things, and it looks as if it's very rich with information, but it's storing none of it. And it's storing none of it in some sort of long-term physical storage. None of it at all. You're streaming things, you're doing things in the present. None of it is stored. None of it. The computer does not create the majority of the information. Maybe it creates a minority that contributes to the internet, whatever. It doesn't create the majority of the information. It doesn't store the majority of the information. It doesn't put itself forward much. And so the physical basis for all of this information processing is very simple and doesn't look like it gives away the shape of the strawberry. It's like, what part of this computer is storing the image of a strawberry? None of it. But I can Google strawberry and get a million pictures of strawberries, and it's like, where is this strawberry in my computer? And you probably won't find it because there is no fucking strawberry in the computer, and there's no strawberry in your brain either. The things that are happening have nothing to do with the strawberry. But that doesn't mean that you can't think of a strawberry and you can't imagine a strawberry and you can't taste a strawberry.
Oh my god.
Guys, I hope you're having a good time. It's so sunny lately. It is so insanely, obnoxiously sunny. Sunniness everywhere. I'm looking forward to summer. I'm looking forward to just breaking out. Guys, if you have any suggestions, like seriously, I will definitely do them. See you later. Bye!